Guys, welcome back to the channel. Probably one of the more important videos that I'm going to release this year, especially for guys that aren't like super hut rich, as Team of the Year was released today, and we got all the cards and all the sets and everything like that. And the question I got asked in stream 50 times an hour was, hey, what is, the ranking of how would you rank and who should I go and get? Because a lot of players, and myself included, could only get really one or two at most. If you can get more than that, you're loaded. Good for you. So you have to make the right decision for your team and the rest of the season, because it is a gigantic investment and you only have a week to actually do it. And it's extremely important because these cards are some of the most powerful and will remain it for the entirety of the game. So guys, let's get into all the information and ranking the Master Set Team of the Year items in NHL 21. All right, we'll kick things off just by showing you guys all the cards in detail. I know I did a video announcing who won and everything like that, but at that time, I just wanted to get a video out showing you guys, who actually won. Now let's actually talk about the cards themselves. So we'll start with the 91 on Timmy Panera. Let's take synergies out of the equation. He's a 5'11" right-handed winger that has 91 speed, acceleration, 94 agility. That's incredible, and a wrist shot that's almost perfect as well. 97 accuracy, 93 shot power, all of his hand stats above 96. This is the prototype right-handed winger that you want in NHL 21. He is fast, he has a great wrist shot. That's it. That is it. Here's the issue. There are so many good right-handed winger cards. The next issue is that he has two of the worst synergies that you can get in terms of team-based synergies. Now, Barrage is going to be a factor in the next month or so, because as cards that get more and more synergy points, it becomes then your ability to actually add team-based synergies is more than just capped at the 3 that it is right now. Barrage is not nearly as important as Distributor, Spark, and Swarm. It's just not. And we can argue about it all we want, but it isn't. And then Balanced is even further behind Barrage. So while it's not terrible, it just does not help this card. The one thing in terms of synergies that saves this card, in my opinion, is Wingman. Because as I've said, Wingman after Howitzer and Speedster, which is available on a lot of top-end cards, is probably the next best synergy. I think Workhorse a little bit more, but as a winger, I actually like, this, or Wingman, I like on wingers a little bit more. Maxes out his wrist shot accuracy. His acceleration before any synergy is 94. And if you get Distributor, he's got 94 speed. And if you have Spark, it's almost a 99 acceleration. So he's a perfect skater. The thing is that, again, the thing that works against him, his team-based synergies are pretty crap. And he already has a 90 overall. So as of right now, it's not a gigantic increase. And the synergy's not very good. So in terms of ranking, I will do a full ranking after this. I'm going to show you guys all the cards first, but it's not very high. Okay, again, I'm going to want a tangent here. Each of these cards has their own value to certain players. That is why a true ranking of these cards is not really doable. Because for certain players, like free-to-play guys that are only going to be able to get one, or stack teams, or if you have the Lemieux and Lafleur, it's going to change the value of these cards. So I want to say that before I go into this, because I don't really think that there's this card is better than this card for everyone. I don't think there's a blanket 1 through 6 ranking that you can do for them. And I just want to get that out of the way first. So let's get back into them. Sorry, boys. I wanted to explain that. So as far as this card is, again, it's great in a vacuum. I just think that it has a lot of stuff it goes up against that makes it a little bit lesser in comparison to all the other ones. All right, next up is the Victor Hedman. This is the one I went out and got. I still think that this is the choice for pretty much everyone if you can only make one. The reason being is that, Victor Hedman is going to receive more cards throughout the year. Again, because of a couple cards a card that we're going to talk about in the next little bit isn't really going to receive as many at the start of the season. That being said, 86 speed, 85 acceleration, 89 agility, obviously not very good, but his balance at 96, passing puck control, and the fact that he's 6'6" with perfect defensive stats basically is what really carries this card. Defensively, there isn't really a better card than this Victor Hedman. At 6'6", he can bump everyone off the puck. He's extremely tough to get around at the blue line because he's so big, and it's going to depend on if you have synergy. So if you don't have Distributor by now, you really need to start working on it. And if you are a new player, there's a video that literally walks you through what cards to go get to get Distributor, but it is a focus of you. So let's assume that everyone that's going to afford a Team of the Year card does have Distributor. So he's got 89 speed. That's fine. The thing that saves him in terms of synergies, because the synergies are brutal, they're worse than Panarin's. Heart and Soul is by far the worst in terms of team-based synergies. And then shutdown isn't really valuable on this card because shot blocking is not a stat that really will have any impact for you at all because you manually control your players, and even if you don't, it doesn't really help. Body checking doesn't really matter on this card. He's 6'6", and it's already 93. Puck control, again, it's already 94. The shot accuracy is a little nice because it does help, but it bumps it up to 90. It's just not enough to notice anything. So the only thing that saves him is the fact that he gets 2 to spark on a left-handed defenseman, and the fact that he's 6'6". This is the card to go get. This is the safest bet. This is there isn't a lot of great left-handed defensemen. Once you have him, you don't have to worry about having a top-end number 1 defenseman for the rest of the game, which has proven to be difficult. Because if you hadn't gotten Miro Heiskanen, like I said at the beginning of the first event of the year, you've been struggling to find a top-end left-handed defenseman outside of like Jack Johnson, who just came out, or Yossi, who's now replaceable. This is it. So Victor Hedman is my personal number 1 ranking, regardless of your team. This is the card that you should go and get. However, there are arguments for other that I'm going to get into. Next up, we have David Pastrnak. And the issue with David Pastrnak is, again, same thing as Panarin. There's so many good right-handed wingers. If you think right off the top, he's not better than the 91 Mario Lemieux, and he's not better than the 80 or the 88 Guy Lafleur. Like, those cards are just the best. So he is going to need, some help. And the one thing that does have his value is that he will go up throughout the year, no matter what. Even if he is hurt, that is what I was want to talk about. He is hurt to start the year, meaning that he's not going to get a primetime or a team of the week. That doesn't mean that they won't release like a 92 Pastrnak for another event in the next future, because they will. If he's out for a considerable amount of time, they will. But that being said, let's talk about this card in a vacuum. So Howitzer is a synergy that everyone is going to have, and if you don't, you need to get it. So 93 speed, 99 agility, 94 makes his shot in the mid-90s. This is a fantastic card. This is an unbelievable right-handed winger card. The only issue is, again, if you have Lafleur and Mario Lemieux, this is your third right-line right winger. If you are going to spend almost $1 million in value for a third-line right winger, that's tough. That is why I say that Victor Hedman is my choice for everyone. However, his synergies are dope because 2 to Swarm is important. Swarm is a synergy that you should look to activate. It touches 3 stats that I think are extremely important, and it only costs 8 to make, so it only requires 4 cards to have +2, and you've got it for everyone. So, in my opinion, this is the forward to go and get. I think, again, if you don't have Lafleur, then for sure this is the card to get. The question being is if you have the 91 Lemieux and you have the 88 Lafleur, that is where I question the ranking of this card because, again, there's just so many good right-handed options. But nonetheless, you don't need to overthink it. This is a phenomenal offensive card and, in my opinion, the best one. Next, we've got the 92 Cale Makar. This is the only one that I kind of had an issue with because it should have been Yossi. That being said, it's not like Cale Makar, who won the Calder, doesn't deserve a Team of the Year spot. I just think that Yossi, because Cale Makar had a fantasy master set, but again, if you know behind the scenes how the fantasy event happened, that wouldn't have really happened had the NHL actually started on time and everything like that. EA had to make some changes and whatnot on the fly, and I applaud them for it because the fantasy event, what it turned into, is something that I hope is there every single year with the cards that can upgrade throughout the year at your own pace. I hope that keeps happening. Anyways, but because that Cale Makar already has a 90 overall, that makes an issue for this one because there, in my opinion, if you are going to go out and get one master set item, it really doesn't make any sense. You're going to see the sets in a little while. But let's say you don't have the 90 Makar, to go out and make this Cale Makar when you could literally, for much cheaper, just build at your own pace the 90 Cale Makar that will upgrade by 1 every single month. And before I get bombarded in my comment section about where the fantasy ones are, they wanted to make today's event and this weekend about Team of the Year, which I totally understand. I don't have a date for sure, but what the answer I got when I asked when are the fantasy updates coming, because they're supposed to come every month now, like a +1, a new set for Couturier, Stone, all that, I was told expect them soon, very soon. So if I had to guess, maybe Monday, but by next Friday at the latest would be my guess. So at that point, you can make an upgraded Cale Makar fantasy card that is basically the same. Now, obviously, having this 92 means that if he upgrades for the rest of the year, you don't have to pay anything because you still have to use those those gold collectibles to upgrade Cale Makar every month, but it's at a much slower pace. You're paying this event only lasts for 1 week. If you get this Cale Makar, you're missing out on a top-end left-handed defenseman in Victor Hedman and Pastrnak, as well as Panera, like any of them. This is the one I would not make at all. And when you just look over the stats, like speed, acceleration, all phenomenal. This card is absolutely insane. But Barrage, Balance, and Gladiator, 3 synergies that are just brutal. They're not good. So in comparison to the other one, this card's unbelievable. So if you pack them or if you get them, I don't blame you guys. It's just, in my opinion, this is the lowest rank. This is the number 6 in terms of Team of the Year cards. I would not recommend. After that, we've got Andrei Vasilevskiy. I have never, in my time covering Hockey Ultimate Team as a content creator or a player, remembered a goalie that garnered this much attention, value, and desire. This is going to take up a lot of this video, I think, because I need to explain it thoroughly. This card is unbelievable. It is 2 to Spark, 2 to Distributor, 2 to Swarm. Those are the 3 best synergies in the game. He gives you +2. The value alone in having that to free up your cards that you've basically forced into your lineup because of synergies is extremely high. Like, that is an amazing value. Then let's take into account that he's 6'3", but he does not suffer from any of the stat caps that happen for any goaltender over 6 foot. So again, I've mentioned this throughout the entire year. There is 5 stats that get capped based on the goalie's height. Speed's 1, I believe, rebound control, shot recovery, 5-hole, and it might be agility. I can't remember off the top of my head. They get capped. So the taller the goaltender, those stats get capped harder and harder and harder. For example, Ben Bishop, all of those stats will be capped at 78 for the entire year. It doesn't matter if he gets a 99, which does impact his performance. So it makes smaller goaltenders more viable. However, this Andrei Vasilevskiy doesn't suffer from any of that. So he's got an 81 aggression, which is right around where you want it. Like, you don't want it to be any higher than that. He's got the best synergy combo you can have out of any card that's ever been released in this game. And he doesn't suffer from the stat cap. Here is the issue, guys. The cost to get this card is absolutely astronomical, and for good reason. I will never, ever tell a player that comes to my channel that wants to improve their team and their ability to play this game to go out and spend over 1 million coins on a goaltender. Because it does not matter who you have in net. If you can't cover a backdoor one-timer and you bite and you drag your defenseman out of position and you give up 2-on-1s, it does not matter who you have in net. You could have the 86 base Vasilevskiy and it could perform the same. That being said, his synergy combo, the fact that he does not get hit with the caps, and he is your goaltender for the entire rest of the game. I don't know how to rank this, because in all honesty, he is probably the best card in a vacuum. However, goaltender is the position that I would never tell anyone to go out and get. If you've seen me go after Bobrovsky in the last event, look what just happened there. I wanted to go after him because he had amazing synergies. I have a God Squad. I wanted to try him out. He was okay at best. And now he went from being 650,000 coins in about a week and a half to 300,000 coins because of this. Guys, we are starting to see 2 to team-based synergies, sometimes 2 to multiple team-based synergies. I promise you, in the next 3 weeks, there will be a goaltender that comes out that has 2 to Spark and 2 to Swarm, or 2 to Distributor and 2 to Swarm, and that will tank Vasilevskiy's value, okay? Keep that in mind. Right now, he's a shiny new toy. It's unbelievable how much people want him. I want him. But I don't want people to ruin their teams and all of their coins that they've saved up for a goaltender, and it's not going to help you perform in your game. Now, if you're a fan of the Lightning, go out and get him, man. Go out and spend your coins. But I'm going to show you the sets in a little bit and why that you should not go out and get him. But he is honestly, in a vacuum, the most phenomenal card of this release. Then we've got the 93 Leon Draisaitl. And again, I mentioned this off the top in my last video when the winners were announced. I knew this was going to be an issue. However, now seeing his synergies, it's awfully tough. So Distributor, Swarm, Workhorse, those are 3 incredible synergies, and he gives you 2 to each one. So that alone is just insane value for a forward. Here's the problem: he is a centerman in all of his stats and build, playing the wing. 82 faceoffs is not good enough. Guys, if you don't know how the faceoff stat works, because I feel like a lot of people will be in there like, he's fine on the draws and whatever, Faceoffs, if you go up against someone who has a 94 faceoff rating, you could do the counter to win a draw and still lose. So it does matter at that low. At a certain point, it doesn't. Like 87, it really doesn't matter. But 82 is enough. And, again, I don't want to spend, over 1 million coins on a centerman that can't win a draw. So he's a winger, in my opinion, and almost everyone else, as it should be. That being said, so now you've got if you have distributor activated, which you probably should, 90 speed, agility 95, acceleration with spark 93. Not bad, but he always plays sluggish. It's a lot like Mark Stone. And again, I think you give up a lot by going down the wing and taking away your ability to just beeline and beat up on players that can't turn around defensively at the line very well. But everything else, guys, this is a perfect card. Like, absolutely incredible. And the fact that he will increase throughout the year, there is no way that Leon Draisaitl does not get an abundance of prime times and team of the weeks. This card could be a 96 by the beginning of February. But speed goes up by half. But as it stands right now, it would not be my number one. I wouldn't. I think that just his build is not meant for the position that he is. If his faceoff rating was even 86 right now, this would kind of be a slam dunk. But again, I think it does matter. And I think that his build hurts him for the position that he's going to have to play, but his synergies are unbelievable. So if you get this card, it's an incredible card, guys. So I apologize again. So like I said, I want to rank them. I'll give you my quick personal one in a vacuum. For if you're a free-to-play player, you can only get one, and you do not have Mario Lemieux, or more importantly, Guy Lafleur, go David Pastrnak, okay? If you do not have Mario or Lafleur, go David Pastrnak. If you have them both, and you're a free-to-play player, go 91 Victor Hedman. If you're anyone else, go Victor Hedman. After Hedman and Pastrnak, again, if you have a God squad, I really don't think that the 91 Pastrnak is of any value to you. If you for me, I have the 91 Lemieux, and then the 88 Lafleur, which will get a silver upgrade soon, and he's going to be way better than that. And then I have the 92 Line, and then Jerome McGinley. Pastrnak would be like my fourth line winger, and that's the same for a lot of players that play this game a lot. So keep that in mind. Then it would be Draisaitl, because Draisaitl, again, even though he's not built like a center, his winger stats, if you have all of his synergies activated, are incredible, but his cost is huge. And then it would be then it's Panarin, then it's Vasilevsky, then it's Makar. Okay, guys, so like I said, it's going to be tough. There's no way for me to rank them 1 to 6 in a vacuum. It depends on your situation, but there you have it. So now let's go take a look at the sets. All right, guys, so here are all of the sets. 50 gold players for 1 gold collectible. That doesn't change. That's pretty status quo. Then we've got the random Team of the Year master item. So if you trade in 20 gold collectibles, again, that's about 1 million in coins. Okay, that will get you a random Team of the Year player. It will be tradable, but you can't decide what one it is. Then we've got the slightly cheaper, with you do 6 Team of the Year collectibles, you'll save 2 gold collectible in cost. So that's about 100K in value, and I'll show you how to get these Team of the Year collectibles in just a little bit. To be honest, I don't recommend anyone doing these. I don't. There is no point to having a tradable Team of the Year item, because they're all going to be among the most valuable the entire year. They upgrade unless someone gets hurt, and even if they do, most of the time they find a way to upgrade them sporadically throughout the year. There is no reason. This is the one event. Make untradeable, guys. Save your coins. Try and get more than one. Do what you have to do. Get untradeable. All right, so now let's talk about the actual specific cards. A lot of people got burned on Draisaitl because they assumed the 89 Draisaitl Winter National one would upgrade to the 93. I told you guys I don't know if that's going to... I wouldn't bank on it, and sure enough, that's what ended up happening. Only the master items actually got increased sets. So 21 gold collectibles to make the 93 overall Leon Draisaitl. That is a big reason as to why I don't think that he is the one that you should make. That is so expensive, and the players that can make him probably can afford to do more than one. A free-to-play player, there's no way. Like, unless you've been working the market, you're grinding. I'm talking about free-to-play casual players. There's no way you're going to be able to afford that. So, Leon Draisaitl, that's why I think his value takes a little bit of a hit because, again, the cost. Next is Vasilevskiy. There is no way over 1 million coins in collectibles to make a goaltender. That is why I'm saying, guys, he is so unbelievably good, but there is, in terms of like the card itself, there is no reason that you should ever do that because a goaltender will not make you a better player. It helps you in some games. It will not make you a better player. Every one of these other cards will impact your game more than Vasilevskiy will, except for the synergy part, which is why his value is so high. Do not make this set unless you are extremely hunt rich, guys. Don't. Then we've got the Cale Makar. So this is the interesting one. You can make Cale Makar for 16 gold collectibles, which, again, not a bad value in terms of it being a little bit less. The problem is that there is a fantasy upgrade one, and you could legit just make his fantasy up to 90, and you've basically got the same card, for a much, much cheaper. So that's why I don't think Cale Makar is one to go after and make. Unfortunately, he already has a master item, and it upgrades every month. So it's already kind of a Team of the Year-esque card. However, you do have to pay this one. Once you've got it, it will upgrade for free. Then we've got the 91 Artemi Panarin. And again, this one will cost 14 gold collectibles. That's not a bad value. That's on the cheaper side. But the issue is that, again, he's going up against other cards that are already so stacked. That's what I talked about earlier. We've got David Pastrnak for the same price. This is why Pastrnak, in my opinion, is the forward to go and get because his synergies help out a little bit more, and he just gives you more value for that. Now, here's the thing. We'll talk about it in a second. Then we've got Victor Hedman. Again, like I said, he is the best left-handed defenseman, even better than Heiskanen, sort of. I mean, like right now, maybe not, but he will be better than Heiskanen no matter what because he will get upgraded. Once his speed gets up by like 2 or 3 more points, that's it. That being said, in his own zone, he's the best defenseman. Don't overthink it. This is the best Team of the Year card to go out and get, in my opinion. All right, then we've got a gold collectible and an icon collectible that are both untradeable that you can do with six Team of the Year collectibles. Now, see, this is where the choices have to be made. That's the set to do, in my opinion. You get both, so you can and you get the collectibles for free. So that's dope. The other one where you use the 6 to make the tradable version, just really no point in that. Then here we go with the upgrade set. So the 89 Panarin, if you have the 89 Panarin and it's untradeable, this is the set to do. So if this is why I said it all depends on your team and how you are. The ranking of these cards is almost impossible. If you have the 89 Panarin, you need to do this set. Same with the 90 overall Panarin, which is a little bit cheaper. If you have any of those cards, you need to do them because this card will be upgraded over the course of the year. It also saves your bacon if you have an untradeable version of one of these cards. You need to do this set if you have the cards, okay? I would not recommend you go out and spend $600K on the 89 version and then do the set because that's the same value. Don't. You're losing money. Do the math on it. But if you already have them prior to this event, 1000% do this first. Don't overthink it. Do this first. And then lastly is the fantasy one. So if you have the 90 Fantasy Makar already, I would recommend doing this set. If you do not have the 90 Fantasy Makar, do not rush through to try and make the 90 Fantasy Makar to then upgrade him. That, in my opinion, is not worth it. It's gonna cost you the same amount a ton, and you could just make the 90 Fantasy Makar later once this event is done. It's only in sets for a week, guys. So you need to keep that in mind. You would much rather get, if you want to get Makar upgraded, you could go get Hedman now and then in a week or two start saving up to build the Makar up, which will get a 91 eventually very shortly. Okay, that's why I'm saying the Makar is the worst one of the bunch to choose. His synergies don't impact you either, so it just doesn't make any sense. This is the much better route is to just make the Fantasy Makar. One other thing, guys, in terms of packs that I forgot to mention, this one that came out, 50K, 1000% go and buy it, please. It will give you a free gold collectible and a Team of the Year collectible. You need one Team of the Year collectible to actually make all the cards, so if you don't want to do the challenges and things like that, this will give you that and a gold collectible and some players for 50K when the gold collectibles are worth more than 50K right now. Don't overthink it, guys. This is the card to go, or the pack to go out and get. This one right here, this is the value. Use your coins to buy this. Don't use your points. Use coins to buy this pack. All right, guys, so that is all of the sets, okay? And again, it's super difficult to rank them. I hope I help make some of your decisions a little bit easier. The other thing you need to remember is the Team of the Year challenges. You can get, by doing the challenges, you can get the Team of the Year collectibles. That's how you do it. You can also get fan packs of each card, which release like jerseys of players, and, you know, like, so Panera has Chicago Blackhawk jerseys and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. It's almost like offline events, or moments, which is something I've been asking for since I became a game changer. But yeah, guys, I hope that helps. In all honesty, in my opinion of the Team of the Year, I like the event. I always love this event. The Vasilevskiy having those synergies is such a good talking point and makes the decision so hard, which I love. But again, I think it's Hedman. The one thing I will say about this, guys, if you are going to watch over the weekend and not be able to buy one, you want to know, when are they going to be the cheapest? Probably Sunday, this weekend, guys. Everyone's ripping packs right now. This is only a 1 week event. Normally, I would say next weekend, when, you know, the events go for another week, everyone's kind of getting, you know, they've all gotten their first one, so now they're trying to sell to make more. Once these cards are gone, you're probably not going to ever see them go for under 1 million coins. These are the kinds of cards that will go up in value because they are no longer acquirable. So you need to do everything you can. If you don't want to spend money, if you haven't want to spend money on the game, but you consider it, now would be the time to try and make them. Make at least one, because then you've locked up a roster spot for the rest of the game. You don't need to worry about it. You've got a top-end card now, and it will remain a top-end card for the rest of the game. So I hope this helps, guys. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already for daily NHL content, and I'll see you next time.